All right, we've got a special guest on today's episode of the Hyperfast Show. She was a first-time home buyer 3 years ago, and like many first-time home buyers, had challenges. She got through those challenges. Her and her husband bought her first home, but she didn't stop there. She developed solutions for the problems and challenges that all first-time home buyers face, and has now built a podcast and an entire company around those solutions. Welcome to the show, Laura Moreno. All right, welcome to the show, Laura. How are you doing today?
Very well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. I know you've got a really great story of how you actually took a challenge, a problem that you saw and overcame and experienced as a home buyer, and put that on a platform that now is able to help agents at scale help buyers. So it's going to be exciting to talk about and the stuff you're doing with the podcast and HomeFlow. Before we jump into that, why don't you just give the Hyperfast listeners a little bit about your background and how you got to where we are today?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on. So my name is Laura Moreno. I live in Brooklyn, New York. And 3 years ago, my husband and I bought our first apartment. And the experience was good, but it was not great. And as a home buyer, I felt there was a lack of transparency, efficiency. We both have very busy jobs and a child. So it was very difficult to find time to focus on home buying. So after checking that there was a pain point out there, I left my job as a product manager to start my own company. And that's when HomeFlow was born. We've been live now for a year. And what we do, we focus on helping home buyers. And in order to help home buyers, we also at the same time want to focus at helping real estate agents. And how we do that is we build in tools. The latest tool that we've built is a home aggregator where agents and home buyers can add properties to the same dashboard from Zillow, Realtor, all the listing places. They can add all the properties they prefer to one common place, and they can interact with those properties, move them to I like it, I don't like it, add comments to those properties. So the home finding process is more efficient.
Well, I can see how that would be really useful. So I'm excited to delve into that and some of the other things you're doing. I just want to say I love the story of taking a problem that you experienced, realizing that other people probably experienced that challenge, and then coming up with a solution. So it's always exciting to see. I think a lot of great businesses are born that way, and I think it is an issue. Buying a house can be like a second job or a part-time job, especially if you've never done it before. And I think one of the challenges real estate agents face is putting themselves in the buyer's shoes. So they, the average home buyer does this every 5 years, maybe some, more often, maybe some less often, but the average real estate agent that's successful is doing this several times a month. So sometimes it can be hard to kind of take a step back and approach the process from the viewpoint of what if I was only doing this once every 5 years, right?
Yeah, totally. And as a home buyer, I see the pain point from agents. Home buyers, we come with so many questions. We are so time consuming, such a pain in the butt. We call at 11 p.m. when we finish our jobs. And we are a pain for real estate agents. So what we're trying to solve also with HomeFlow is bringing that education to the platform. So when you find a consumer, a home buyer, he is already educated. It's kind of like trying to save time for both parties, making it more efficient, more awesome experience for both the home buyer and the real estate agent that is representing the home buyer.
What were the specific challenges that you had 3 years ago? It sounds like from the latest tool in HomeFlow, at least one of them was just sorting through all the data and choices and options. What other kind of problems did you experience?
Yeah, totally. So, what we experienced as a couple, one of them was that time-consuming process of finding the home. You know, we will, we are a couple, we were a couple buying a home, so we will both have our Zillow accounts, Street Easy accounts in New York, and our agent had his MLS account. So we had like emails every day, back and forth, text messages, WhatsApps, calls, talking about properties. And that was very time consuming, switching to one to the other one. So we're solving that, having that common place. But also on the flip side, we also had the problem with closing. We we didn't know it was going to move so fast, and we are going to need to make so many decisions so fast. And our biggest pain point is, as a first time, we didn't do so much homework, so we didn't know what was coming next. And we were always calling our agent, like, what's coming next? What should we do now? And I wish we would have had like a checklist of, while you are doing this, why don't you start collecting your documents? Why, something more like having a more overview of what is going to happen so that we had it ready.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to bring out for agents is, every situation buying a home is going to be different, but 95% of the time you're going through the same steps, like search for homes, filter ones that meet your criteria, look at those homes, right? Write an offer, negotiate the contingencies, the loan, like a lot of it is repetitive. So building out checklists and processes and just educational bits for your buyers is something that you as an agent may take for granted, but it's extremely valuable.
And it's so time consuming for the agent to be educating every single home buyer that comes. Like every time you have a home buyer, they have no idea, they haven't done their homework, they don't know where to start. So it must be very tiring to explain all the single process. So what we're building is that education. Like, you don't need to call your agent for every single item. Just maybe get educated first, get educated as you need it, and, have a more pleasant experience overall.
So you went through this process, bought your home, then walk us through what happened next. Like what kind of inspired you at that point to start the podcast and start HomeFlow?
Sure. So at that time, I was working as a product manager for Check, which is a technology company. So I was building online products, right? And I was also working for them as a growth hacker, how to acquire more users, get more revenue, and so on. So we bought our house in May 2018. And for the next year, while working full time, I was doing user interviews. I was talking to other people. Do you have the same problems? What's going on with your home purchase? Like, walk me through your problems, or how was your situation? And then I verified that they were actually pretty common problems to everyone that was going through the home buying process. So a year later, my husband and I talked, and we decided, I need to leave. I need to leave my full-time job. I think this is a huge market. It's a huge opportunity. It's a huge pain point. So let's give it a shot. And then that was in January. Actually in January 2020 is when I started full-time at HomeFlow. And I started the podcast. And the idea with the podcast is to bring professionals and interview the best professionals that help home buyers. So home buyers can be on their commute, maybe not so much now their commute, but they can doing exercise and listening to, okay, this is how you buy a home. This is how you save time. This is how you can save money. These are the top tips. This is how you find professionals. This is the process. So they educate themselves in their own time. And this is what we're doing with the podcast. We've so far recorded 80 episodes. It's going really, really well. And it also brings a constant traffic to our site for potential home buyers. And at the same time, while doing that, we're building the product. And if you go to our website now, which is tryhomeflow.com, if you go there now, we are in beta. So we are like launching features. They are not perfect, but we are like slowly perfecting the features. And we have a long roadmap of features that we want to launch. And what we're doing with the platform is you have a site for education, and then you also have your tools on messages, so we want to bring everything that is related to your home purchase in one dashboard. So you will have there all the properties that you like from all different places. You'll have your team, your agent, your lender, you're going to have also your documents, a place where you can just keep all your documents in one place and share them with others. And you will also be able to send messages, and very, very important also, you will also be able to find the professionals to help you. And this is where we're building a marketplace and bringing the best professionals to the platform. So in one place, in one stop shop, you can just find your lender, your agent, your lawyer, and just bringing that conveniency to the home buying process.
So there will be a portal that basically, or something like that a home buyer can log into, and they can communicate with and find agents, lenders. I think you mentioned earlier the property feature. They can actually pull properties from the MLS or Zillow or other sources and kind of give feedback to their agents
Yeah, exactly. And the property feature is what we're building is, if you're browsing Zillow or if you're browsing Realtor or whatever website is, you have an extension and you can click on that and say, add this property to my properties dashboard. And on that property, you can even send comments to your team. You can say, I like this property, but I didn't like this. And your agent will be able to see that, and your agent can also do the same thing. They can go to Realtor or their MLS and add a property so your home buyer can see it. And I thought this property, you would like it. What do you think? And kind of like collaborate more on the web in just one common place.
And how are you going to deliver the educational part of it? Like, obviously the podcast is a big form in that. Like, are you going to have kind of a step, 1 to 20, process or checklist, or how, courses that people go through? Like, how does the buyer
go totally
through that?
So far, what we have live is we have the podcast, we have a blog, and we also have a checklist. That's what we have live. And what's coming in the pipeline, we are going to create a forum where home buyers can make questions and professionals can answer those questions. And we also want to build several home buying courses. One could be how to buy your first home, how to increase your credit score, how to, and all those information and courses will be free for the home buyer.
Okay. What about, are you anticipating any challenges between the, different states and jurisdictions? Like, they all maybe have some of their own nuances, not just in the market itself, but in some of the actual processes and regulations and whatnot. What are you doing to kind of tackle those area specific challenges?
I think that goes a little bit down the road. We know that, for example, there's many states have different processes. Some you need an attorney, and some you don't. At the beginning, we're tackling like the general population, but then we will start focusing on state by state. So, for example, you say you're looking to buy a home, you enter the city, and then you will be taken to that specific checklist.
And what's been the feedback so far? Like, are you, of the users and professionals?
Yeah, so for users, we've shown the platform to users many times. They need it, they want it, they really, really like it, and they tell me, when can you ship it? Everything. I need this now. So they are super excited about it. Home buyers, they want to have that one place, that one platform, because now everything for them is all over the place, and they don't have time to deal with everything. And for professionals, the feedback has been very, very positive. Everyone is looking forward to us launching the marketplace. And as a matter of fact, we are raising funding now because we don't have the capacity to build everything that we need to build soon enough. We have so much that we need to do, and the public wants it so soon that we just need to move faster, hire more product managers, more developers, more marketing experts to start moving it faster. But we really want HomeFlow to be the one-stop shop for home buyers. We have a super ambitious plan, and the acceptance has been really, really great. We just don't have enough hours on people to build everything that we need soon enough.
So you're going out and raising money now to help grow it faster?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We've identified what are the channels to grow it, the most difficult part. And, this is not a new concept. HomeFlow, there's like few companies that have tried to do this in the past, but the problem was acquiring home buyers is very hard. The same thing for real estate agents. Home buyers kind of like it's expensive to acquire them if you are going to pay for ads. So what we're doing in HomeFlow, we're doing that organically. We want to create content for free, and home buyers are looking for that content. So now that we are seeing that traction, that more and more home buyers are coming to our site, we need to keep on delivering the products and the services that we're promising.
Awesome. Well, it's exciting to see this. I think this is a challenge for buyers and for real estate agents. So it's nice to see someone that's gone through the process come up with a solution to solve it, hopefully at scale. So it'll be exciting to watch, your journey in the HomeFlow journey. Before we wrap up today, I always like to do a hyper-fast round with our guests. If you are ready for some fire questions and answers. All right. What's the biggest piece of advice you would give to a new real estate agent?
I would say provide value first. I would say educate home buyers first. Like one of the biggest complaints that home buyers have is they don't know what's coming, and the agent is not holding their hand enough. So what I would say is, when you talk to a home buyer, sit down and educate them through the process, even if it takes like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it takes. Like, make sure they know that process and they know what is coming, because that is going to make your experience working with that home buyer so much better. Don't assume that they know anything. They know nothing about home buying, nothing at all. So if you take that time to educate them, it's going to be a much better experience for you.
Yeah, I agree. People will value that you took the time and showed that you cared, and you'll probably eliminate, most, if not all, problems just by giving people the education and knowledge up front. So that's a great point.
And another point on that is also talk about the emotions that you're going to go through as a home buyer, because that's something you don't expect. Like, you're going to be so excited, but then you're going to get heartbroken, and then you're going to get so excited again and heartbroken again. And then the closing is going to be really fast and stressful. Like, talk through the emotions, because the home buyers don't know that is coming either.
Yeah, all great points. What's the biggest piece of advice you'd give to a first-time home buyer right now?
I would say educate yourself also, because it's not all on your agent. I think I give actually the advice to both parties. Educate yourself, because your stress levels are going to go down when you know what is coming. I really think education should come first. Spend like a good, I don't know how long, but spend a good time learning what is the process and becoming a mini pro buyer, home buyer.
What's been your biggest business challenge, and how did you overcome it?
It's building fast enough. I think I go to the shower and I think about all the features that we need to build. I dream about them. People need those things, to be live soon enough. And how am I overcoming it is like getting ready to raise funding, preparing pitch deck and the model, and hiring people. I've been hiring people, interns for the time being, and hiring and raising money. That's the goal. Yeah. But building, not building soon enough. It's keeping me awake.
Love it. What would we find you doing when you're not working on your business?
I'll be playing with my son, Max. He's 3 years old and he's awesome. And I'll be playing with him and spending time with my husband. Yeah. Pretty normal life.
All right. What, or where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Professionally or?
Yeah, professionally.
I see HomeFlow becoming a multi-million company. I see it. I see myself managing lots of people, keeping the mission and the vision alive. Our vision is to always empower home buyers and put them first. So I'll see myself as a CEO of a big company, and still defending home buyers and making sure they have an awesome home buying experience.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to watching that happen, and it's exciting to see the solutions that you are providing to home buyers and real estate professionals. So thank you for the time on the show. Before we sign off, if people want to learn more about HomeFlow or the podcast or just connect with you, what are some of the best ways that they can do that?
Sure. And thanks, Dan, for bringing me on. For the website, you can go to tryhomeflow.com. Just go to tryhomeflow.com. And for the podcast, just Google, or in iTunes, you can find it in iTunes and Spotify and several places. Just type the First Time Home Buyer Podcast. It should be a blue logo.
Okay. So First Time Home Buyer Podcast or tryhomeflow.com. So if you're listening to this show, definitely check out the podcast, check out the website and blog, and see what Laura's up to. It's definitely exciting for me to see on my end.
Yeah, and get in touch with me with anything you need. You can also reach me at Laura, Laura at tryhomeflow.com. And yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show, Laura. Everyone else who is listening or watching, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hyperfast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest Hyperfast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave some comments about what you think on the videos. I'll see you next time.